Hi everyone, it's Margot, and this is going to be my recorded opinion editorial. In a time of rising rates of obesity and its related comorbidities, what can we do to make healthier food choices available for everyone? What barriers are in place to hinder healthy eating, and what do you think is the most influential factor in people's eating choices? To start, I think there is a direct correlation between the food environment and the rates of obesity. As an overview, I think that some things that we can do to make healthier food choices available for everyone are creating realistic regulations for companies and educating the general public. I think that the general barriers that are in place that keep people from eating healthy is the money misplaced in companies and the social barriers. Then I think that the most influential factor in people's eating choices is by far food advertising. So, to go back and elaborate a little bit, I think that it would definitely be appropriate to create realistic expectations for companies in order to make healthier products for consumers. And by this, I mean creating caps on things like sugar content and fat content. Now, this could be taken in many different directions, and many companies might fight back and say, well, we need this much sugar to make this texture. We need this much sugar to compete with all of our competition because they have this much sugar. But I think that creating caps and almost a max level for these companies would provide them relief and provide healthier options for our communities. It wouldn't force companies to keep adding excess sugar, keep adding excess fats to their products in order to compete with the next chain over. And with that, it would lessen the sugar and fat contents that people would be eating in foods that we are already consuming in large amounts. I think that would be definitely a great place to start. Additionally, I think that educating the public is a great step that could be taken. There's a lot of money and a lot of power in advertising, and it's been very apparent that there's a severe lack in the general education of the public when it comes to nutrition. Generally, people couldn't tell you what is in their food, how much they should be eating. Even things like calorie breakdown are something that could be really improved in terms of education in the public. So I think that shifting some of the focus from ad times that's given to companies, some of that should be shifted to general education. And instead of doing things like targeting populations, it would be very worthwhile to try and educate people. In fact, there's a stat related to this that says, well, in terms of the CDC, I think it would be very wise to educate the public on general physical exercise requirements. This says that people should be moving for 150 minutes a week, moderate to vigorous, or 75 minutes a week. And this would be something that the public probably doesn't know or doesn't engage in, and this would be a great way to, this would be a great start in shifting the focus from food ads and definitely adding some education. Next, I think that in terms of what barriers are in place, I think that definitely there's social barriers. Social media and social activities are all flooded with food and photo-worthy food and things that are, very elaborate, large quantities. But more so than the social influence, I definitely think that marketing has an influence. I think that companies misplace so much of their money in advertising their products and creating elaborate commercials, including really famous people or really elaborate sets, and spending lots and lots of money and resources when they should be cycling this money into things like higher quality ingredients, things like education time for their population. I think that would be definitely a place to start. In fact, another fact about that from WRJF.org says a total of $4.6 billion was spent on all advertising by fast food restaurants in 2012. $1 billion. This was an 8% increase over 2009. So in a matter of 3 years, it increased 8%. McDonald's spent 2.7 times as much to advertise its products as all fruit, vegetable, bottled water, and milk advertisers combined. So all of those healthier options, all of those fresh fruits and vegetables, McDonald's spent almost 3 times as much advertising its products. So naturally, you're going to be very influenced by all of those marketing dollars. And if you don't have nutritional education, you would definitely gravitate towards that. And that's the idea. But that definitely should be shifted. And then to elaborate on that, I definitely think that food advertising is the most influential power in people's eating choices. I think that I myself have fallen victim to seeing something and not actually wanting it until I saw that ad, driving by a McDonald's billboard and saying, oh, well, I could go for that right now. I think that we've all been there, but that just goes to show the advertising power. So as a take-home message, I would say that all the money spent in food advertising is misplaced, and it should go to higher quality ingredients that would increase the healthy options for our public. I also think that people should be educated on their nutritional needs and needs for healthier practices in their life. And I also think that food advertising has a lot of power that might need to be checked. Thanks so much for listening. Hope you guys are staying safe.